Right, my first question is, the economic prioritisation of the schemes done by SQW and Cambridge Economics, as in Appendix A, make much of a mention of the direct economic benefits, etc., but no mention of the health benefits of schemes that involve public transport, where you have at least to walk to and from the bus, but especially not of such benefits as cycling or walking. The recent DFT assessment of the Cycling Ambition Grant schemes in Cambridge gave a benefit to cost ratio in excess of 30 to 1, over half of which was health benefits assessed using the WHO HEAT tool. That's the World Health Organization Health Economic Assessment tool. Even more recently, research published by the Journal of Psychology suggests that cycling helps stave off the ageing process that affects inactive people. It is said that every hour spent cycling extends your life by an hour, whereas every hour flopped in front of the telly reduces it by an additional hour. Extending the life of those on bikes may not be good for pension schemes, but the generally higher levels of fitness, alertness and reduced absence of those riding bikes give significant economic benefits to those who employ such people. Why were these not insignificant benefits from such active travel not included in the assessment?
That's your first.
That's my first question.
And we are going to visit this whole area of the analysis later on in the agenda, but Graham, perhaps it is possible to extract from that an answer now. Graham, would you like to take that?
Thank you, Chairman. Through you. Clearly, as Mr. Chisholm says, health benefits of cycling and walking are well recognised and particularly important. For the purpose of this appraisal, and as the Chairman said, we'll talk a little more later on about the actual process that we went through, but for the purpose of this appraisal, we have focused particularly on the economic dimension of the schemes, because essentially the city deal is about growing the economy. So we use a method that, if you like, uses proxies to show how, relatively speaking, each of the transport schemes will benefit the local economy. That doesn't in any way take away from any of those schemes that those that encourage active travel will be beneficial to health, but it just hasn't explicitly been part of the process because we needed a simplified mechanism just to rank the scheme. So absolutely very, very important. We recognise that, but we didn't need the assessment for those reasons.
Mr. Chisholm, do you have
Yeah, my second question is, the Chisholm Trail comes high on the list of the schemes included for the Greater Cambridgeshire City deal, and incidentally the original Chisholm Trail took cattle to slaughter in Chicago. I've heard that it is proposed to use a different name when submitting applications for funding. Is there an agreement of the proposed formal name to be used, even if it fails to roll off the tongue in the same way as the Chisholm Trail?
Are you withdrawing the loan of your name?
I'm not charging any rights for the name if it continues to be used.
Graham, do you want to answer that?
Thank you, Chairman. I think we've recognised, that we've discussed with Mr. Chisholm, the need to think of a slightly more strategic sounding name. And we only say that because in reality, when we are going into government circles and places like that, bidding for money or discussing the scheme is important that it's clear what the scheme actually is. And I think, to be fair, the Chisholm Trail sounds a little bit like a sort of rural and leisure type of path. So we are going to, what we want to do is to make sure that whatever name we come up with is acceptable, but also is recognised, because the one thing that I think is definitely recognised in association with this group locally is the name of the Chisholm Trail. So in making that move, we'll do it in a way that still keeps the essence of the sort of known characteristics of it. So it served a very useful purpose, and we do need to do that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chisholm.
Okay.
The second question is Julian Huppert, MP. Would you like to come forward?
Thank you very much, Tim, and it's many congratulations on your unanimous election. It was a great pleasure to work with you, as well as many other people here, to actually secure the city deal in the first place. And it clearly is a huge opportunity for Cambridge to deliver a step change in what we've been doing before, to make sure that the city can cope, that we can alleviate congestion, we can make sure there's housing, we can make the city be an even better place to live. My question, however, is about some of the caveats of how that might work, and how this Assembly and the Board and the whole city deal will make sure that it protects the character of Cambridge at the same time, as well as supporting a sense of community that makes Cambridge what it is. I think none of us want to see a solution which solves the transport problems, but means that people don't actually want to be in Cambridge or to stay in Cambridge. That runs through all of these issues, but if I can ask about one particular proposal, and I'm perhaps biased as a former councillor for the area, Milton Road, where there's a long history of former proposals to cut down all the trees and turn it into a dual carriageway, which causes a lot of sensitivities about what might be proposed there. What I would like to ask, Chair, is what assurances can be given that any proposals in this area, and I understand they haven't been drawn out, will make sure, firstly, to keep the sort of tree-lined boulevard aspect that there is, which makes Milton Road the place it is, but also make sure it doesn't sever communities. We have the problem on Newmarket Road, for example. It's a very hostile road to cross. We need to keep that community interaction. So I'd be grateful for assurances as to how that can be delivered, and then to see, as the proposals are developed, whether they live up to that promise.
Thanks very much for that question. Of course, this is also something that's going to come up later on the agenda, perhaps more about the merits of a scheme or not on Milton Road. But in terms of process, which I think is what Julian's question is mainly about, Graham, can you help on that now?
Thank you, Chairman. I think the first thing I would say is that in developing any of the schemes that come forward by the City of the Special Council of Cambridge is one that will be recognised and is essential. I would like to think that the way that the schemes are now delivered has moved on all the way from 15 or so years ago when Milton Road was last being seriously considered. And I think local departments really do try to take on board all of those issues that make Cambridge so special. I think in relation to Milton Road, because there is no specific scheme proposed at the moment, I mean, it's difficult to make comments that sort of suggest what will and won't emerge from the process. I think what I would say though is that the intention is, subject to the views of the Assembly today and the Executive Board, is to start a process in relation to the schemes that are, if you like, to be taken forward. That process will be very consultative, working very closely with local members, local communities, in developing schemes and making sure that what emerges from that process is a scheme that carries support. So what I wouldn't want to say with you, as there is no scheme on the table that we will definitely have this, we will definitely have that, but what I will say is that we will work up all of these schemes very carefully